What's up guys, the leaks for chapter 52 and 53 of the Ragnarok manga have arrived. I'll be going over everything that came out today. A reminder that the full Raw should come out in a few days, then the English translations a few days after that. The leaks don't have all the pages, missing quite a few, but we got a basis of what happened, and of course the end of the fight between Buddha and Hajun. A lot of crazy stuff to go over, not really what I expected, but interesting stuff. I'll cover all that in today's video. Make sure to subscribe if you're a fan of Ragnarok, leave a like, and let's begin. So at the start of chapter 52, it seems like we're seeing Buddha pushing against Hajun and actually successfully takes one of Hajun's arms off. It seems to be half cut off after the clash that we saw at the end of chapter 51, and Hajun seems to actually just remove his arm completely. A few panels in the leaks here kinda demonstrate that we're gonna get more information about Hajun and what he did when he destroyed half of hell or everything like that, so more backstory for him, which is cool. And Buddha, as we know, is going for the kill against Hajun and seems to be putting up better of a fight with the likes of Zeus and others talking about what's going on, and Hajun seems to be sweating quite a bit, and then we see a clean panel of one of his arms being completely gone. He may have actually transformed the remaining part of the arm into a handheld weapon that we see here, because previously he was turning the arm itself and using that as a weapon, but now he has a handheld weapon, which looks quite cool. So we see them two clashing one another again. This time, however, Hajun is overwhelming Buddha again, so Hajun with his handheld weapon is stronger than this somewhat amped Buddha. Apart from that, we do see a few panels of Beelzebub again. A reminder that he's the one who brought Zero inside of Hajun, the big mastermind of everything that's going on. He seems to be just chilling, having a good time watching the fight, seeing how his experiment is going. We have Hajun walking up to try and end Buddha, but he sees some mysterious light and tries to reach out to it, and we see someone actually grab Buddha's hand. Buddha rises up and has somewhat transformed with a new weapon, and we see that he has somewhat fused with Zero. So a lot of people will try and say this is an arse pull, but it has kind of been hinted at all the way before this fight actually occurred. We had this interaction between Loki and Buddha around Buddha's initial introduction, where it talks about one of Buddha's abilities. This is when Loki was blaming him in helping the Valkyries, kinda hinting at Buddha having ability like the Valkyries. This is what it said: in the world of Buddhism, if two people forfeit each other's lives and put them on the same lotus, it brings out the full potential of one's being. So this is one of Buddha's abilities, apart from his other ability, which seems to be seeing people's souls, which links into his future vision ability, which doesn't work on Hajun. But all this most likely explains the scene that seems like him fusing with Zero and his new weapon, which has the 7 deadly sins, similar to what Zero had as well, and an actual like lotus-like sword. So yeah, that pretty much explains everything regarding his new form. It'll probably be explained better in the full version and the English version whenever that comes out, but that's my interpretation of the image here. And that is the end of chapter 52. Now let's get into the chapter 53 leaks. So of course, most likely Buddha is going to have a power amp with this new transformation and weapon. It also could very well be connected to his last realm we never got to see, I believe. We also see Buddha's, was his brother? I think it was his brother, but in the crowd watching him and cheering him on. We have them two clashing. Hajun still able to damage Buddha, so they're still quite relative when it comes to power at this point, even though Buddha just got this, I'm guessing, friendship amp, you could kinda say. But we do have Hades and a lot of other characters talking about Buddha's new ability, probably explaining it in more detail. I hope we get some pretty cool statements regarding like power scaling wise. Maybe something saying like, oh, not even I can beat them, like Zeus saying something crazy like that. That would be pretty hype for the likes of Buddha. And it seems like Buddha's future vision ability is returning to him and that he's able to use it on Hajun here. Oh, that's what I think. We do have Brunhilde talking a little bit, and it seems like she's talking about the soul ability that I talked about before. So for whatever reason, Buddha is able to use his future vision against Hajun, which eventually triggers Hajun and does demonstrate how overpowered future vision actually is. He goes from being relative to a Jun to being able to dodge his attacks, which I guess, you know, may amp a Jun a little bit with like rage, and he thinks he actually gets Buddha here, but the attack only hit an after image or something like that. It kind of looks like sand melting away, so this could very well be a new transformation, or just highlighting Buddha's evolved future vision perhaps. And then after that, Buddha goes for his strike, a named attack, and this is what he uses to finish the Jun. Of course, there's a lot of pages missing, so we're missing a lot of the clashing and I'm guessing a lot of the build up for this strike. But Buddha has killed her Jun and is the winner of this Record of Ragnarok fight. We see Zero saying goodbye, going to the other lucky gods, so I'm guessing Zero is indeed dead, which I'm personally glad for, and Buddha raising his hand with the victory panel and everything like that. So I'm guessing this does count as an official match regardless of all the crazy shit that occurred. A pretty crazy ending. A lot of people thought Buddha was going to have a transformation, but not anyone that I talked to really mentioned the ability that was talked about earlier prior to the fight actually occurring. So I'm glad it all came full circle. They hinted at back in his initial introduction, and this links into Buddha's transformation, which could theoretically be pretty overpowered if he could take anyone's soul and kind of transform with them, but he needs to have the willingness of the other person to do that based on the explanation I showed earlier. So yeah, that's pretty much everything regarding the leaks. Let me know your thoughts of the ending. I think a lot of people really expected Buddha to win. I didn't have too many people saying Hajun is going to win. So yeah, Buddha is an absolute mad lad yet again. Sadly, we didn't get any information about who's going to be fighting next, but they'll hopefully be revealed in next month's chapter, which is 54. The full Raw shall come out in a few days, as I mentioned before. All the links for like these leaks and the Raws and translated version will be posted in the Discord whenever they come out. So make sure to join if you haven't already, and if you just want to talk more about Record of Ragnarok greatness. And I believe if this does count as an official win for humanity, the score should be a draw again. So maybe next fight will most likely go to the gods, but it'll be crazy if the humans actually get the lead. Hopefully they address all the stuff that may mess up the initial roster for the tournament. Hopefully they talk about adding another fighter for the gods or something along the line of that, whatever they're going to do. Hopefully that gets explored in the next few chapters. Stay tuned for my full chapter videos whenever the translation drops. I'm not sure how long it's going to take the team. Last time it was a little bit delayed, and it's going to be 2 chapters this month, so it may be like a week or something like that. But yeah, they'll be out whenever they drop. I'll also be working on a How Strong is Buddha video, so stay tuned for that as well. Follow the Twitter for more greatness, and as always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys, peace.